Okay, but seriously, like, why isn't Myron Reed on my television? And why is Bad Dude Tito not a mega star in Japan? These are the questions I'm here to ask on my Up Next series. Thank you guys so much for the support that you've been showing me all month. Thank you for the kind words on the last video that I did, highlighting 5 women's talents. We're going to focus on the fellas this time around. So let me know in the comments who you think I should be featuring in these videos. Thank you for the comments on the last one. A lot of you had kind of said like that this functions almost as like a mini scouting report for you, and especially with AEW Dark being gone, that was something you appreciated. So we're going to keep that vibe going. If you missed the first one, this is just a spotlight of 5 talent that I feel like people aren't getting to see enough or aren't getting enough love. I don't really have criteria for this. It's mostly unsigned talent or people who are between being signed places or whatever, things like that. But not obvious things, like not like, oh, Ricky Starks should be on television. We know those things. So the intention is to shed a little light on people that maybe aren't getting as much love as they deserve. So let's get down to business. Please leave a thumbs up if you would be so kind. It's the best free way that you can support me. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. My subscribers have doubled in just over a month, and that means so much to me. And it really goes a long way. It goes a long way. And definitely let me know talent that you think I should be checking out and highlighting in this. It's a wonderful challenge because there's a huge well right now that's very deep of talent that I could be highlighting. So inevitably I will miss people because this series will never run out with how much incredible talent is in pro wrestling right now. But let's start off with the bad dude. Okay, this is a guy who I adore. I've been very vocal about it for a while. And people are gonna probably think like, oh, this is just Kate's list of wrestlers she stand. But some wrestlers I stand because they're really fucking good, and Bad Dude Tito is one of them. I'm a huge TMDK fan, and I think Bad Dude Tito is such a special ingredient in that stable overall. He was your MLW Openweight champion up until last month. He's your current UWN tag champ with Shane Hayes, who I also adore. You can see him in tag action in the Wolf Zaddies with Che Cabrera, who's fantastic. But the thing that's so impressive to me about Bad Dude Tito is just what an in-ring phenom he is from the perspective of he does some fundamental things extremely well where it doesn't feel like they're fundamental at all. Like some basic moves just don't look basic when he's delivering them because he's so strong, because he packs so much power, because of his speed and agility. The way he's built and the way he moves don't line up in like a really good way. Like he should not be able to move the way he does for how built he is. I'm so impressed by the athlete that he is, but his ability to kind of transform that into some really incredible storytelling makes him one of my favorites to watch because he understands match pacing as well as anyone. And when you combine that with his strength and agility, who doesn't want to see that guy in action? Who doesn't want to see him wrestle? His ring IQ also very evident both in singles and tag action. I love watching him in tag action because I feel like no matter where you pin him, he's going to stand out, whether it's more on the hot tag role or whether he's kind of in there eating some punishment until you get to Che. Like he just is extremely well-rounded, and there's never a case where I see him and I feel like I didn't discover something new or there wasn't something about him showcased in a special way. Criminally underrated is Bad Dude Tito. The in-ring presence that he is, I have no idea how he's not signed somewhere in Japan. Like, he feels like he's cut out to be a megastar over there. I could see him fitting in really well with ROH if they're going to go to a TV studio setting, especially. I think he'd actually make a really, really good studio wrestler, but he's got everything you could want in a wrestler. Sense of humor. Only negative thing about him is how much he loves Creed. Like, just, if we could just tweak the music taste, that would be fantastic. But I really, really genuinely love what I see out of Bad Dude Tito every time he's in there. And there's just always some in-ring positive about him that is pulled forward in his matches that is different from the last one, which I feel like is a tricky thing to accomplish. If you're looking for bad Dude Tito matches to go watch, I would say his Bloodsport match with Josh Barnett was awesome. And I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about Matt Riddle, but those mixed feelings don't apply in the ring to me. Him and Matt Riddle had a really, really, really fun match as well. He's killing it. He's killing it right now. He has a lot of momentum. I believe he was just showing up in TNA. It's like the one American product I don't cover, so I'm a little behind on. But right now, he's walking around unsigned, which I think is really stupid. So somebody should be locking this guy up because he has star power written all over him. Next on my list is LSG. I love LSG. I've been following him since the pre-shutdown edition of Ring of Honor. He's been all over the world for the Ace of Space. He's definitely been all over Earth. That's for sure. He's been in Europe. He's been wrestling local to me in New Jersey. He's been at Excite Wrestling that I do commentary for. And what makes LSG so valuable in the current ecosystem to me is how versatile he is and how great he can make opponents look while also looking very strong himself. Like, that feels somewhat basic, but it's not something that everybody can accomplish. And he does a great job at it, whether he's showcasing what he can do in a really solid and competitive match like he had with Mike Bailey, like he's had with Aaron O'Rourke of recent, or he's been called on to be an enhancement talent in AEW because he's really good at making his opponents look good. His versatility is something that I feel like is underrated about him, and that, let me tell you, ROH needs it, NXT needs it. They need people like LSG who can work with people of any experience level and make them look good, any size and make them look good, any ring style and make them look good. Like, Gio is fantastic at that, and he looks great himself. I feel like his footwork and his ring psychology are very, very underrated. I think he sells extremely well in a way that is underappreciated. I'm a fan of the proportionate sell. As much as I love a good Dolph Ziggler or Shawn Michaels sell, like, the proportionate sell is something that's really great. If you watch a match and LSG gets slapped, he kind of reacts like with this mental pause that you take, like, all right, you fucking slapped me, whatever. But, like, it's not like, oh my God, someone slapped me. He's great. He's great. And I feel like ROH should come crawling back to him. And I feel like NXT should be looking at him and guys like him who can offer so much value in how versatile they are. I think that's really, really, really important. Michael Oku's on this list just for me to say, how is he not signed? Like, it's, I don't believe he signed with AEW. I don't believe he's under contract anywhere. Everybody who's enough of a wrestling nerd to be tuning into a wrestling podcast probably knows of Michael Oku. They know of his match with Will Ospreay. His match with Fujita was excellent. That's someone who will be on this list. I mean, he's already locked up and signed away in New Japan, but holy hell, they got to start strapping that kid up with gold soon. He's fantastic. But Luke Jacobs, another outstanding wrestler from the European scene who's fantastic. They had a great match of recent. I don't understand how he's not like signed, sealed, delivered by AEW or ROH to my knowledge. Like, he just seems like the most obvious, yes, please put this guy on television guy. Extremely well-rounded, extremely special in that his presence in the ring is, to me, calmer and commanding, but his athletic ability is that of someone who can bring you a ton of flash and style if you need it. So it's a really special package and a unique set of ingredients that you don't get in every wrestler. Just go watch his matches. Just go watch his match with Will Ospreay. Go watch that match with Luke Jacobs. He's the most obvious, yes, please sign him talent. I have no idea how he's not signed up already, but I'll tell you someone who has been signed to multiple promotions who I still don't think gets his due with some of the most important, crucial, and simple stuff in wrestling is Sam Adonis. He was signed to MLW and AAA, I believe, at the same time. I love Sam Adonis for his wrestling mind and his in-ring ability. Great from a move execution standpoint, but if you need a heel to get heat, Sam Adonis is your guy. If you need a face, I'm sure he could do so on the other side, but he's mostly been working heel in the stuff that I've seen him. But there's this really simple aspect to wrestling that people seem to forget, which is just getting crowd reactions. And holy hell, does Sam Adonis get you the crowd reaction that you are looking for. I once had the chance to interview him with the Shining Wizards on the Shining Wizards podcast, and he said something that I love. It is so evident in his wrestling when you watch it. We say old school when we mean fundamentals, and we should stop doing that, basically, was kind of where he was going with that. And I could not agree more with that statement. Like, I love how he articulated that, because New Age wrestling is so enhanced by having fundamentals down, and people that skip them are missing out on some of the biggest magic that you can create in wrestling. And every time I see Sam in the ring, he's out there to create that magic. I am kind of shocked that for someone who is Corey Graves' brother and has been in the system before, like NXT not making him a wrestler trainer, almost like they have Shawn Spears in that hybrid role. It feels like, from what I know, he produces matches and is an on-screen presence. Like, I feel like he should slide right back into something like that. I think he would be an asset anywhere, but in the NXT ecosystem, where things are kind of wild and you're working with people that are just graduating from the NIL class, right? And now we're signing like Julia and the former Delta, now Zarya, and stuff like that. Like, he seems like the perfect linchpin player to thrive in that environment and help others thrive in that environment too. I feel like that's such an obvious one. Recently worked EC3 at NWA, had a really great triple threat with Charles Manson and the then Black Taurus and Mance Warner. So some good stuff to check out there, but his bread and butter seems to be at AAA. I really, really think he would be such a fantastic hybrid talent for both what he's able to do in the ring and the crowd reactions that he gets, and also his wrestling mind. I think he's one of the more valuable people that you could have on your staff for kind of that in-between role. But finally, we're going to talk about Myron Reed, who has been on TV before, should be on TV a whole lot more than he is. When you look at Myron Reed, he's one of those guys who you're like, you're a TV wrestler. He's so complete in what he's able to do in the ring, the character, the look, like just a 360, 100% all-in, ready-made TV star wrestler. I really, really believe that. I feel like it's a no-brainer to put him on television. I don't know why he's not in TNA. That seemed like a good fit, but man, I really believe he could add value to just about anywhere you want him to go. I think he would kill it in NXT. I think he would absolutely kill it in NXT for the presence that he brings to the ring, and for his wrestling ability. Like, just straight up, he's another guy. You see him in the ring, and he has kind of this fusion of newer age stuff, for lack of a better term, but with some really great wrestling psychology and foundation underneath it. I love watching Myron Reed. I feel like I'm just perplexed as to why this guy is not a television star. I really think NXT would be a fantastic home for him, if not back in TNA. But there's some good work that you can check out. His GCW matches, I think they were back-to-back with Jack Cartwheel. That's everything you could want in that style of a match, right? Like, Jack Cartwheel is so great. I believe Jack Cartwheel was WWE ID'd. He's fantastic. Definitely check him out. And right away with Sydney Akeem, I think the next day or the day before, I can't remember which order, but it was, to me, such a great test of what Myron Reed brings to the table, because he's in there with someone like Jack Cartwheel, who can kind of match him move for move in the ring. And with Sydney Akeem, he was really good, but I don't think we necessarily knew what he was getting because his trajectory in WWE was so weird. And I just felt like Myron Reed did a great job grounding him in the match, not in the literal sense, but grounding him in the match that they were wrestling. You could really see how how much he was able to give Sydney Akeem and how much he was able to make himself look great in the process. So Myron Reed should be on television. That feels like a no-brainer to me. I would love to see him in NXT. ROH could be a fun place for him to go to, but I think the energy that he brings would fit really nicely in that NXT system. But there you go. There are my 5 fellas for you to check out. Please let me know in the comments who else you think should be highlighted. We're going to keep this series going once, maybe twice a month. People seem to really like it, and they're quick hits, you know, and there's a lot of talent that deserve to be spotlighted. So we will keep this train going. Please leave a thumbs up on your way out if you didn't already. Please subscribe if you haven't. We're going to be back with more fun content. We're going to tell you who you guys told me was on the naughty and nice list of wrestling. I asked you guys, we're going to do another You Tell Me video. Who's naughty? Who's nice? You guys can't make up your mind on Hangman Page. There are way too many of you saying, hey, this arsonist was justified. He should be on the nice list. So we're going to go through all of that and more. Thank you so much for watching. We'll get the production right on these moving forward. We'll have pictures up and match graphics and things like that. But appreciate you hanging in there with me. We're going to be posting the rest of December. Join me on this journey. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.